Welcome back to another handsome review with your handsome host. It is I, Jamiel Surita, and we have a very special episode today because we're at the finale. I know, very sad. At the finale of She-Hulk. So, what did I do to really help celebrate that? Well, guess what? I'm wearing green on purpose because we're here celebrating the She-Hulk series. You know, man, what's going on? This thing is disappearing. What? No, I'm not intentionally trying to break the fourth wall. It's just that this computer dies every time, and I'm trying to make sure I know exactly what I want to talk about. Because in order for this to be pulled off in the right way, we need to be able to talk about it. And there's a lot of things we have to talk about, okay? I'm sorry, this is not the type of fourth wall breaking that everyone would expect, because there's no big machine behind it. There's no Kevin here, all right? It's just Jamiel. Editing and writing and producing, and you, other guy, you're also here.
That is true. I am the other guy who silently judges while Jamiel makes his product, because we don't have a robot known as Kevin. Jamiel is not an acronym, so forget it. Forget you saw anything. And now go back to the show.
Welcome back. And now let's talk about the show, because we have a lot to talk about. So this episode starts with She-Hulk in the same situation. She's getting prosecuted, and now she has to wear a wristband for her leg, so a leg band, so she doesn't transform into not Abomination, so she doesn't turn into She-Hulk. So that's a small part of the episode. She becomes depressed, and she realizes that She-Hulk is very much a part of her. As much as she hated the idea of it, she is She-Hulk. So, she starts to miss it, and she's like, oh, I guess Hulk was right. Now this is her new normal. And then, part of the episode goes into the investigation of Intelligentsia, who I don't really care about, to be honest with you. But, and I just wanted to get confirmation that Todd is the King Hulk, or Hulk King. And he is. It's confirmed because they have Pug, one of the friends, the lawyer friends, go into one of his rallies. And then there he confirms that he's like, yes, I am the Hulk King. I'm the creator and starter of everything over here. And so, once that happens, you get a lot of that type of rhetoric, basically about how women aren't as good as men, and how She-Hulk even got they made a joke how she got nepotism. So that was funny. And then, they continued the idea of the hating of, instead of, women hating, it's She-Hulk hating. But it's the same concept, because a lot of this story revolves around the idea, I would say, about feminism, but also about what it means to be a woman in today's society and everything. So I think that it makes sense, especially to have that type of thing. Not all men are bad, and that is shown with the character Pug, who feels disgusted, trying to pretend to blend in with this group of haters, this hate group that was formed against She-Hulk. So, while she's sulking, she decides to go to the ranch, to Abomination's ranch. And then when she gets there, she can't find Abomination anywhere. I thought something was sus. You could feel it, because he was nowhere to be found. The only guy there was the ex-Wrecking Crew member, which I thought maybe he's a part of it too, because then it's revealed that Abomination was hosting the rally for the Intelligentsia group. And then she walks in looking for him, and then she sees him in his full Abomination suit. Well, not his suit, but his Hulk power. He's hulked up. And then, she realizes, oh, he broke the rules, he broke the law, and then at that same time, Hulk jumps into the ranch, and then he starts trying to fight Abomination, because he thinks that Abomination is trying to hurt She-Hulk. And literally, right after that, Titania jumps in there, and I'm like, she's the one character that I don't really like, but not just because she's annoying or anything, but because it doesn't really seem like she fits. Maybe a couple episodes I thought they did pretty good, but she came in randomly, just like in that first episode that she came in at the end, to show She-Hulk fighting, and basically her explanation of her origins, how she becomes famous as a lawyer, aka She-Hulk lawyer. So when that happens, basically you had the Hulk trying to fight Abomination. You had Todd, who actually revealed that, that Josh, who we already knew from earlier, was the person who stole all her information and her Hulk blood. And then he injected the blood into himself, and he turned into one of the most awkward looking Hulks that I've ever seen. So I was like, this looks weird. And then on top of that, she's like, what? This makes no sense. and she literally pauses the episode. So, you know, I think that they did that to kind of like make fun of like what you see now as kind of like the trope or something that's used often inside of the Disney Plus Marvel shows where the finale is CGI filled action. You know, I like it. I like that endings. But, you know, in this story, she literally breaks it down and she pauses it. And then she heads over to the Marvel Studios lot to find Kevin. And so that was funny because she goes inside this office and then he's like, oh, he's not here or something. And then he's like, fine, if you want to talk to him, you need to sign this NDA. And then she signs it and then he's like, oh, you can't be in here. Kevin Feige said no, so you have to leave. And she's like, why'd you make me sign the NDA? She's like, I make everybody sign the NDA. And so then he gets the go ahead and then she walks into the office of Kevin Feige. But they only say Kevin because then afterwards it's revealed that Kevin is not Kevin Feige, but instead a machine known as Knowledge Enhanced Visual Interconnectivity Nexus. I mean, you know, it's a joke, obviously, because all those words are kind of like big words of nothing. Knowledge, I guess, something that knows. Enhanced, you know, visual interconnectivity is like the idea is like that's the robot that makes sure that everything correlates with each other throughout the whole MCU and stuff. I mean, I kind of want to see more of that. I wouldn't mind seeing Kevin appear somewhere else. But more importantly, the way they hyped it up, I want to see Kevin Feige actually appear in an MCU movie. That would be amazing to get to see that. And have him talk to one of the superheroes similar to like Stan Lee when he was alive. That would be great. And I think they're kind of hinting towards that because now Kevin is kind of part of this world. But not Kevin Feige, Kevin the robot. And then, you know, she breaks in and she says, this makes no sense. The stakes are not the same as what it's supposed to be because She-Hulk is supposed to be a lawyer comedy show because it's about a lawyer who gets superpowers. You know, and I also like the intro. The intro, they dressed her up kind of like in the 70s and they had like a whole narrator and everything for like 2 seconds. And I thought that was kind of cool. You get kind of like a theme type of thing similar to like WandaVision, but bringing it back to the original Hulk TV show. So that was great to see. And then, you know, so that's when she ends up taking, like I mentioned, I think I mentioned it before, but basically when that happens, when she pauses everything and she explains how the stakes don't really correlate because in reality, the stakes of her life is that this whole new position as a superhero could endanger the life that she already wanted, take away everything that she needs in life. Because that's the thing, you know, a lot of these superhero movies, they're all about the world stakes, saving the world from something evil. But in reality, as much as the characters feel real because they all kind of feel like they connect with each other, you can't have a world, or at least I don't think there is worlds out there where on every other day something's being threatened. You know, I think that was used before as a joke, but that's as far as it really goes. It's not going to make a lot of sense. So I really did enjoy that that she broke it down and then she was like, look, you have to, in order for this She-Hulk show to succeed or to exist, you have to be able to have the stakes be something similar to the world of the character. And I agree. And I definitely agree with the way they broke the fourth wall. That was like how you have to do it. Maybe not all the time, you know, because then the novelty of it wears off very quickly. But at the end of this episode, they were able to go full out She-Hulk. I really did want another Hulk to appear to fight, but I guess we got like a mini Hulk there for a second. He looked like a pit bull Hulk or something. So it was okay. And then she's like, okay, let's take away Todd's powers. Because she's like, it doesn't make any sense. Why is this guy getting her blood out of nowhere? In reality, it did make sense, at least for me, you know, because obviously she dated someone for 2 seconds and she slept with him and then he took advantage. And then he got her stuff and more importantly, her blood. And he was able to give it to the Hulk King. Besides that, they took away the Hulk from the scenario, which was okay because, you know, it was kind of random. How did he get there? Unless they explained why he was going to that ranch in the first place, you know, it's the only way it works. And then they sent Abomination to prison. And she was like, you have to be able to be held accountable for your actions. And so this guy, he literally broke his parole. And he turned into another Hulk. So it was kind of great to see that. And then at the end, when Todd's like back to his human form, he gets arrested. And then she's like, I'll see you in court. I like that. I really did like that. You know, to see something like that where it felt very different. You know, and he seems like a real threat, like an enemy, and it felt very organic. I don't know who this Todd guy is, but he was pretty much created just for the show, and I thought it was good. So it worked really well. And very much all felt like it was in the tone of She-Hulk. And I think that's the only way to get these movies and shows done right for Marvel, is to be able to make sure that these characters exist within a certain tone. That way everything doesn't feel the same. Instead, each character has their own flavor, has their own views on life, has their own enemies and everything. And then it becomes more engaging for us. And then she brought back Matt Murdock, aka Daredevil, because she hooked up with him and she really liked him. So I was kind of happy to see her kind of get like a happy ending. She met a guy, and then she even introduced him to her family, including cousin Bruce. Oh man, what a cool ending though. At the end, you get cousin Bruce, and it was like, oh hey Bruce, and everything. Now we have actual proof that they're related, because we only seen the Hulk and Jennifer together. We haven't seen all their whole family together at once. And then right after that, we got the reveal that he has a son from Skarr, which was basically a story that was happening in the background while we were watching the She-Hulk show. So I hope this means that at some point we are going to get a World War Hulk storyline, or some type of storyline where the Hulk and his son kind of create a lot of disaster and problems for the Earth. The only thing I didn't like about it was his CGI for the son looked kind of awkward. But besides that, it was okay. So I want to see what happens to the Hulk in the next part. And then the other NTs was Abomination getting broken out by Wong, I guess for another fight or maybe another TV show, because they didn't kind of make a reference that Wong was like on other TV shows and stuff. So I do hope that, we get to see more of Abomination. There was one thing that I forgot to mention, which was that I found Abomination to have a very similar story as the Hulk. Because Abomination in this story was basically kind of like a hippie type of character about being peace and love, and he's just really just trying to get his freedom. He's just trying to have a better life after all the BS that he went through, trying to be like this top best soldier. And it's almost like they replaced the other character of him from the original Incredible Hulk, just like they did with the Hulk on going from Edward Norton into Mark Ruffalo, and also the tone of the characters changing entirely. Because Abomination, once he was like in his monster form again, he felt kind of like a joke type of character. He wasn't very scary. He just kind of looked like a CGI Shrek type of thing. So those are my thoughts on the She-Hulk show. Let me know in the comment section below. Did you like the series? What'd you think about it? Are you interested in seeing more of She-Hulk? And do you think that She-Hulk will be featured in Daredevil Born Again? That would be cool, because personally, I'm a big fan of the Daredevil and She-Hulk relationship. I thought that they had great chemistry, more great chemistry towards this episode. And I was kind of happy to see She-Hulk happy for once, because, she made a couple of big missteps in the show. And I think that that's really part of the unique character of She-Hulk, where part of her story is finding love. And the other superheroes, they don't really try to do that. Or if they do that, it's like very small parts of it. So I'm kind of glad to get to see something like that happen. And she deserves it. She's a cool character. So I'm really happy for her and Daredevil. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to give this video a like, subscribe, because we have more videos coming out. I'm going to announce here now, I will be making a review on Black Adam. I already got my ticket. I'm ready to review it for you guys. So, if you have anything else that you want to know, maybe if you want to start on putting some suggestions in the section below of anything I should watch, movies and TV shows. It doesn't have to be Marvel or Star Wars or anything pop culture related. It could just be something interesting. Just let me know. Thanks for watching, guys. And I'll see you next week.